Making sure our live stream is on. It's up to you. Just so you know you're on a live stream, just so you're not we do. Good, I practiced at the counter last night. Where am I? Does it matter?
No. I think yeah, that's right. Yep. Anyway, I think it's pretty looks like
How are you? You had a talk. And it looks like it's Renetta attending. All right. Oh, I feel like I need a list so I don't forget. Yeah, I did. So, Ingersoll Stout, Cynthia Keys, Renetta and Claire. Do we have any adjunct faculty here? I think it's okay. Because then it'll just make me nervous. Plus, I'm a contact center and I'm They're always going to yeah, it'll be fun. That's my crazy. Letting you guys know there's a live stream. So if you're happy, they might keep it on. Letting you guys know that we have a live stream right here, so the mic will pick up what you guys are recording. So if you say something to each other, it's so funny. Yes.
Good morning. How are you, sir? Hi, have a seat right here.
I thought that was mine, but it. Good morning. Today's the day where everybody's going. Isn't that great? All right. Today's the day we're all special.
Oh, I just want to give you a heads up. We are live streaming right there.
How are you? Good morning, how are you? Good, thank you. I see you this morning. So I called earlier because I was on my way in. I'm like, oh my gosh, so bad. Like, I had to get 7 o'clock. So late. So our little research participant comes in with like a little tray. And she's like, I come bearing gifts. So Like, that's an upgrade. That's so kind. Isn't it though? I'm like, you don't even know. I need
know,
ceremonies.
Seriously, you guys were like my first.
I didn't do hoodie, but they're hoodie, like, the college education hoodie was still the original. But I was like, I'm going to this weekend. Because I'm getting my PhD this weekend. No, it's in the CCA. So we're gonna do this like all weekend. Honestly, I was trying to tell my brother, I couldn't remember. I'm like, it's 5 or 6 ceremonies that just goes on all.
He's on road too.
I know when I graduated college, they brought us all in and like prove your castle, and then you scout you guys campus to either like if you want. Well, I know I found so like it's live right now. Just so you know. If you notice
Nobody actually walks out.
right. Then yeah, you guys can sit on that side if you want, so you're not on camera, or you can try to go really next to it. I don't know if you'll be on camera or not. You're good.
Cool.
All right.
Good stuff.
Good.
Yep.
Hi, how are you?
Sit either side of it.
Yeah.
Huh? Sit next to you.
Do you want me to keep it back there? I am not accepting the title of this. I feel like I know everyone else. I know. But at least yeah, so you'll go back here and then around that way. Yes. I'm good. How are you? I came to tell them from you that you're gonna set the tone. He doesn't want an awkward memory.
Yeah.
I just wanted to let you know all the lives are here. Just let it know that you know you're right next to it. Okay. Perfect. Yes. So, are you guys thinking it's up to you?
I'll just go back. I know Barry came out and said he thinks he'll be invited. He was invited, I'll say.
We are limited away.
Yeah.
I don't want to spill my coffee. Maybe I should get this somewhere. Taking my coffee. Don't be taking my coffee.
Hello. How are you?
All right. Favorite? Would you mind? Is this your
So yeah, So it's a bold move on my part to go with contacts. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, there's no way. That's kind of funny. I still get contacts every year. But, yes, yeah, lots of good
That's why
No promises on equality, but
Thank you. They can let theirs out.
no. Yeah, I figured. Probably didn't know who he was.
You look nervous. I said, are you nervous? He said he's
Good morning. Welcome to the class of 2023's Hooding Ceremony. I'm Dr. Jennifer Tucker, and we want to welcome all of you today to the celebration. We want to welcome family and friends and loved ones. There's a saying, so when I had my daughter, everybody tells you it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a village to get a cohort of graduate students to the finish line. And so we have many, many people in our village that are part of that that have joined us today. So I would ask all the core faculty to stand so that you can see who have spent years of their life investing time. So we are exceptionally proud. I would like, we have clinical faculty in our new faculty practice that our students have got to benefit from. So if they and Leanna can stand, they're a huge part of what we do here. They provide our clinical arm. Renetta and Claire have joined us, and Renetta is basically who you need to keep happy so that you get to the finish line and you're registered for all classes. So Renetta and Claire are instrumental in making sure that everything that needs to happen on the backside happens. We have associate deans who some are not able to be with us this morning, but we have Dr. Jennifer Kent Walsh, who's the Associate Dean of Research. We have Dr. Barry Hoffman, who is the Associate Dean of Clinical Affairs, and Dr. Joel Kramer, who is another one of our Associate Deans on the administrative arm. So, and then we have Dr. Stout, who is our school director, and then you all will have an opportunity to hear from Dean Ingersoll. But I just want to take a moment to just encourage all of you and encourage you all to just take in the moment. So today's gonna be a long day for everybody. We've got this morning and then we have this afternoon, but this morning is really where we embrace them into the profession. This afternoon is the pomp and circumstance of graduation, which is a big deal. But this is really more an opportunity for us to celebrate that they are joining us as colleagues. So I've told them over and over again, and I will tell you again that it has been an incredible privilege. I don't know really very many people who get the opportunity to see individuals come into the program kind of wide-eyed and a little bit of a deer in headlights and leave the program as amazing colleagues who are going to go on and do tremendous things. So today is not a goodbye. It's I'm no longer Dr. Tucker, I'm Jen. And we get to start our journey as colleagues together. And you guys are going to do amazing things. We're incredibly proud of you. They have demonstrated resilience and grit starting in 2020. I feel like everybody should get a Purple Heart, right? We all survived, and we're here in 2023. So it's been an incredible journey, and I'm very, very privileged to have been a part of it, and so excited to celebrate you today. So on that note, I'd like to invite Dean Ingersoll to join us. We are very fortunate to have an amazing administrative support in terms of the dean, our school, the associate deans. It really does take a lot to provide the resources that are needed to provide the quality education that we are able to provide to our students. So we're exceptionally grateful, and we're very grateful to have Dean Ingersoll join us this morning. So Dean Ingersoll.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the University of Central Florida and the College of Health Professions and Sciences, I want to welcome you to our beautiful campus and our beautiful Pegasus ballroom. I want to make just a few remarks before we get started. I want to do a quick shout out for Dr. Tucker, who will actually be among our graduates this weekend with her PhD. So, congratulations, Dr. Tucker. Well, first I want to thank all of the parents, grandparents, siblings, friends, loved ones who came to support the graduates today. You know that your graduate went through a lot in order to complete this program. They had to complete and do very well in an undergraduate program, and they had to go through a very rigorous 3-year curriculum. And without the social support to get through that system, it would be very, very difficult. So, graduates, I want to ask you to give a nice round of applause for your support system. Likewise, to our guests here today, I want to first tell you we're extraordinarily proud of these graduates. In case nobody had let you in on this secret, but PT school is not easy. It takes, they're so tired they didn't even laugh. But importantly, the fuel that got them through is that they've made a commitment to dedicate their lives to helping other people. And I think that's among the noblest of intentions that you can have. They will dedicate their lives to improving our lives. You know, as I get older and I think about the increased need I'm going to have on our healthcare system, I'm extraordinarily pleased that we're going to have practitioners like this fine group who will take care of me as I get older. So thank you in advance for anything you do to help me. I want to make a couple of comments directly to the graduates. First, I want to congratulate you on completing your program. We know how difficult it is. We know all of the effort that you went through, your clinicals, your classes, your studying, your late nights. You did it. Congratulations. Now, actually, before this afternoon, when President Cartwright, by the authority vested in him by the state of Florida, confers the degree upon you, the dean holds the right to give you one last test before you're graded your degree. You are going to receive a Doctor of Physical Therapy degree. And so my question for you is very simple. What does doctor mean? You don't have to raise your hand. You can just shout it out. He said teacher, and he is 100% correct. You listened last year when I asked that question. It's an important distinction. It comes from the Latin docere, which means teacher. And I want you to keep that in mind as you go out and serve your patients in the future. You are a teacher of physical therapy. And I think that's an important perspective in terms of how you treat your patients and the process they go forward. So go forth and be great teachers. Congratulations, graduates.
Welcome. I am super excited to be here. You know, I spent so many hours in lecture, joking around, having a good time, and never had any nerves speaking in front of people except for these moments. And I get so nervous. I don't know why. There's parents in the audience. I don't know. I can't tell you how proud I am of all the students. As has been kind of mentioned, this is a really rigorous program, and I'm honored to be here today. If there was one word that I had to use to help define this cohort, it would be perseverance. These students started under pretty tough circumstances, and they still have come through it with amazing resilience and grace. And I think that's a critical thing to consider. We started this curriculum on Zoom, which is kind of weird to think now how you can start an academic program through Zoom, particularly one like physical therapy, which requires a lot of interaction and so forth. And they still came through with flying colors. This is also the first graduating class for myself as a new program director. I can't tell you how proud I am. Woo. So as was mentioned, our DPT curriculum is one of the most rigorous curriculums that UCF has to offer. And I like to put this into perspective for folks. A typical PhD is about 90 credit hours beyond the bachelor's degree, and it takes the average PhD student about 6 years to complete their PhD. Our DPT curriculum is 114 credit hours, and they complete it in 3 years. So that helps to kind of highlight the rigor that our students have to go through. It's pretty impressive. And there's some important symbolism involved in our ceremony today that I want to point out. Our students have doctoral regalia on, which is really exciting. And as you see them walk across the stage, I want to make note of certain things. The actual regalia they're wearing has velvet boards on the front. There's velvet stripes on the side on the arms. And those are two distinguishing characteristics of the doctoral candidate regalia. They also, in lieu of the mortar boards, you typically see undergraduate students or master's students wear, doctoral students wear tams that are made out of velvet as well. So some very important distinguishing differences between the doctoral candidate and the undergraduate and master's students. This particular ceremony, we're going to hood our candidates, and the hood has a lot of symbolism in and of itself. And you'll notice as they walk across the stage, one part of the hood reflects the colors of the alma mater, black and gold in our case. Another part reflects the colors of the discipline that they're studying. And for physical therapy, that color is teal. So as we apply the hoods, I want you to make note of the colors, which are really important. Never forget where you come from and also your discipline of study. As you guys move forward, I don't want you to forget what brought you to this profession. Healthcare is challenging. It's really, really difficult, but you have the unique opportunity to help impact people's lives. And I think sometimes in healthcare, because of the challenges, clinicians can get so caught up in those challenges, they miss out on those moments when they help change someone's life. Always, whenever you do that, take a moment, sit back and enjoy the moment. Never forget that, because that's what brought you to this profession. I've heard the phrase that physicians help to save lives, and physical therapists help to make those lives worth living. So I think it's kind of cool to think about it. I want you to reflect and seek constant challenges. I want you to look for opportunities to step outside of your comfort zone. And it's interesting, as I've gone through my career, I think some folks have looked at 5 and 10-year goals. I personally have just sought to challenge myself. And once I accomplish something, I want to see what the next challenge is. And I think that has served me well through my career. It really helps to avoid becoming kind of complacent in your professional development. So always look for those challenges and seek those challenges out. Once you accomplish them, celebrate, move on to the next challenge. Physical therapists possess the knowledge and the skills to impact the quality of someone's lives, and that's really a critical thing I never want you to forget. So I want to say congratulations. I want you to celebrate this moment with friends and family and all those who helped you get through this kind of season of your life, so to speak. Kind of thank all those who played a role, including friends and family and faculty. We're all very excited for you. I want you to stay in touch. Nothing excites me more than to see alumni come back and do guest lectures, help participate in clinical research, and to stay engaged. It's really exciting to help influence the next generation. And I really encourage you to do that. And we really want you to stay in touch with us. And as Jen mentioned, from this point forward, we were colleagues. So no longer do you need to call me by my last name. You're going to call me Bill. I've been trying to get my wife to call me Dr. Handy for years. She won't do it, and I encourage you guys to call me Bill as well. So thank you all for coming so much. I sincerely appreciate it. And now we have, as tradition, we have a couple invited speakers. We typically invite a speaker who is one of our alumni, who has kind of an interesting story, a meaningful story and experiences to share, and important perspectives to share. We also have a student that we'd like to share and address the audience. So I would like to introduce alumni Casey McGinn.
Good morning, class of 2023. Welcome to the moment you all have been waiting on since you logged into your first class 3 years ago. It's graduation day. For those of you who do not know me, I am Dr. Casey McGann. I've been sprinkled here throughout the curriculum at UCF, popping into labs, coming in for a lunch and learn, and mentoring some of you all for debates and foundations with Dr. Dawson, or when times got challenging. I truly enjoy the opportunity to pour back into the students of the program that helped shape who I am today. It was actually 7 years ago today that I sat in your seat with those same butterflies in my stomach because I knew that all that hard work was coming to fruition. When I got the invitation to speak to you all, I was filled with so much excitement and really felt honored to be able to share some parting words with you as you head out into the working world. But I was also stuck wondering, how do I accomplish how grand of an accomplishment this is, but also remind you that you have your whole life ahead of you to accomplish other things too. My goal today is to highlight how special your class is, reflect on this journey, inspire you beyond the classroom, and share some wisdom from someone who isn't too far out from graduation. I also want to leave you with 3 things I wish I would have known my first year out of school. There's something really special about your cohort that no other class will be able to compare to, and that is the fact that you started this hardest journey virtually. While this allowed for flexibility in terms of attending classes from home, it also meant that you students had to adapt to new methods of learning and interacting with your classmates and professors. I spoke with some of them in preparation for this speech, and Dr. Handy said it best. Through this adversity, I see a dynamic and inspired group of young professionals who will have no problem overcoming challenging circumstances in the future. You all had to persevere through unprecedented times for the world and the medical community. Who knew that in this lifetime you were going to live through a pandemic, especially one that started right alongside your decision to enter the healthcare field? Despite these difficulties, attending PT school during COVID also provided an opportunity for personal growth and resilience, as you all learned to navigate a rapidly changing world and develop new skills for the future. The long journey that you have been on is just a chapter in your book. Who you were at the beginning of this program is not who you are now. Take a moment with me and reflect back to those first few days. Remember the fear of the unknown with how COVID would affect your learning process and experience. Recall the excitement as you got to know your fellow classmates and the overwhelm of seemingly infinite pages to read and notes to digest. Remember the first time you told yourself, I don't know if I can do this. But I also want you to remember the feeling of accomplishment when you received your white coat and prepared to go out on clinicals to treat patients for the first time. Think about that sense of growing confidence because you knew that you were prepared for what was to come. Your journey through this program has not been easy, and as they say, things that are easy aren't worth having. All the late night studying, the stress of 4 exams and practicals, and making sure you brought your A game to the clinic were all worth it to be sitting here right now celebrating today. So for that, you all deserve a huge round of applause. I want you all to know that you will do amazing things. You worked so hard from undergrad to now to be able to sit here today. I want you to remember, do not let this degree define you. Let it catapult you with your newfound sense of accomplishment, self-awareness, and knowledge to be whoever you want to be. I remember sitting in room 231 before my interviews and being told that the UCF DPT program aims to cultivate excellence as evidenced by the seasoned professors, community involvement, and exceptional pass rates. But also, they truly just wanted us to go on and be good humans. At the time, I didn't quite understand how that would impact the way I would be educated throughout my time here and impact me moving forward, as I'm sure you all didn't either. So reflect with me some more as I explain. Throughout your journey in PT school, you worked tirelessly to develop the tools to increase physical abilities and improve the quality of life for your patients. However, these tools extend far beyond the clinic or hospital room. They've become personality traits that are now innate to you and will bleed into your friendships, relationships, parenthood, and your community. The grit and excellence that you have demonstrated professionally, as well as the dedication required to make it through these last 3 years, have shaped who you are as a person. The passion you have to advocate for your patients will also shine through in the things that hold value to you. The confidence you have in your skills to make changes in the profession will also improve the well-being of your community. The way you care for others doesn't just turn off when you go home, it's an integral part of who you are. Your ability to work well with others is not just a skill you use at work, it's a valuable trait that you will carry with you throughout your life. You have worked hard to earn the right to get what you want, but don't forget to have fun along the way. Important achievements today require a clear focus, all-out effort, and a bottomless trunk full of strategies. With this growth mindset, your abilities have grown and bear the fruit of today's success. There can be this big sense of relief after today as you prepare and pass your boards, but don't let that stop you. The goal of graduation cannot be your end game. You've set this goal to go to PT school, graduate, pass boards, and treat patients. But why was this your goal? We all have a story of why we want to be a PT. What I bet you didn't gamble on was how these 3 years would change who you are into a better version in pursuit of that goal. It is during this journey that got you here where you cultivated excellence in the classroom and in yourself, and that is what you're going to take into this journey of your life. Not only do I want this keynote to leave you feeling inspired, but I also want to give you something. I want to share 3 things I wish I would have known my first year, and no, they don't involve paying back student loans. First of all, it's important to remember to leave work at work. When I started my career as a PT, I used to spend a lot of time documenting at home or staying really late to finish up so that my patients had every ounce of my attention during their sessions. But it's time to remember who you are outside of the therapy world. You've worked hard to develop your craft and earn this amazing career and freedom. So be sure to do the things that make you happy. Don't be so consumed by your work and patients that you can't turn off that side of your brain when you get home. One of the things I didn't realize until after I graduated was the gift of personal freedom that comes with this career. Being able to work full-time, part-time, or any hour spread in between has allowed me to love what I do and do it on my own terms. It's helped me fill my professional cup as well as my personal one. So remember to take care of yourself and enjoy the freedom that comes with being a physical therapist. The second thing I wish I had known early on is that my unwavering standards for patient care would set me apart from some of my peers. This program has instilled in all of us a commitment to clinical and professional excellence, which translates into exceptional patient care, assertive advocacy, and a passion for interventions based on the latest research. Unfortunately, not everyone in the field is going to share these same values, and you may encounter colleagues who are content with doing the bare minimum. However, it is precisely this commitment to excellence that sets you apart and makes you the most desirable candidate in any job interview and the best therapist for your patients. When your patients feel deeply satisfied with the care they are receiving, they will appreciate all the effort that you are putting in. And that is what will remind you that clinical excellence is worth it. It's easier for some to stay small rather than to step into their full potential, but you all have crossed that comfort line and have caught glimpses of the incredible strengths you possess. So if you ever doubt yourself, I want you to reach out to a classmate or a professor, now a colleague, and they will remind you of just how powerful you are. Remember, you did not go through all of this education to simply punch a clock. You went through it to be in a position to make a real difference. Which leads me to my third and last bit of advice that I want to share with you. You possess an incredible gift that allows you to make a positive impact on the world, and it's something that I wish I had realized earlier. When you share your gift with others, you'll find that new opportunities and doors will open up that you might not have thought possible before. As a therapist, you have the privilege of being the person your patients trust and confide in the most. You're able to spend quality time with them and build meaningful relationships, breaking down any barriers and addressing hesitations they might have had towards healthcare in the past. Your work allows you to make a difference in their lives, helping them regain their strength, mobility, and independence. Never forget what a gift this is and how much of a positive impact you can make in the world. Today is a milestone, one definitely worth celebrating. It tells you how far you've come, but now it's time to move on to the next chapter. So in the words of Mark Twain, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than the ones that you did. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade wind in your sails, explore, dream, and discover.
I want to take a moment and introduce our student speaker, and we sat around as faculty to help decide which student we wanted to nominate to present, and there were some spectacular candidates in this particular cohort, all who would have had a unique message to deliver. There was one in particular, however, that had some unique challenges. As a member of the National Guard, he was called away for a year, and actually had a 8-year gap in his time in his education, and he was able to come back and overcome those challenges and still be successful in our program. And we're really proud to have him as part of our alumni day. So I would like to introduce Jeremy.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeremy Fleischman, one of the graduating class of 23. I want to take a quick moment to just congratulate my peers and fellow classmates. You all have worked so hard to get here, and I hope you're able to soak in and cherish every moment. You've earned it many times over. I want to say a collective thank you to our esteemed faculty, professors, for sacrificing your time and energy to steward our education and prepare us to become incredible clinicians and leaders in our fields. It's clear how much you care about your students, from willingly and almost constantly adapting all of your teaching methods during the pandemic to online classes and non-traditional learning, to making sure each of us received the individual help we needed throughout the program. You've truly been such amazing role models, instructors, and mentors. I also want to say a sincere thank you to the friends and family who are here to support your loved ones. You are the unsung heroes of doctoral studies. And without your support, I don't know how any of us would have survived. And hopefully, we can carry on and contribute to a normal and productive conversation without mentioning school, studying, or sleep deprivation. I've had the privilege to be a classmate to your loved ones over the past couple years, and truly it has been my honor. I can think of 38 other people that deserve to be standing here right now giving this speech. And in all honesty, after being left off almost every practical in the first 2 semesters of this cohort, I was just excited they remembered I was graduating too. As most of my classmates know, and as Bill introduced, my route to becoming a physical therapist has been a little non-traditional. So I was asked to give a little bit of insight regarding perseverance. So here it goes. I graduated from Niceville High School in 2011. In 2016, 5 years later, I graduated with my 4-year degree. I took an additional 2 years of prereqs before applying to graduate school. And after another 4 years, as you mentioned, I'm now graduating with a 3-year doctoral. Typical route for a PT from start to finish is 7 years. 4 years of a bachelor's, 3-year doctorate, as little as 5 for some go-getters that dual enrolled. But it has taken me 12 years to get here. Perseverance, right? My one time-bound goal, was to graduate before I turned 30. Want to know when I was born? It was in May of 1993. Care to guess the date? It was May 3rd. May 3rd, 1993. I missed my goal by 2 days. Perseverance. The continued effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, failure, and opposition. That feels pretty accurate. Definitely some difficulties, definitely some opposition, Definitely what some people would look in and consider a failure, but I don't see it that way. And neither would Antetokounmpo if you've been watching any sports recently. What I've learned is that it's all about having the right perspective, which in turn drives perseverance. Looking back in those 5 years of undergrad, there are so many things that I accomplished and so many incredible people that I met. I went to basic training, I made lifelong friends, I commissioned as an officer in the Army National Guard. I met the love of my life, even if you didn't know it yet. I found my faith in God, who completely changed my life, redefined my values, gave me passions and aspirations, and who gave me meaning and purpose for the very first time. I would say that's 5 years, very close to that. Already behind, I took another 2 years of prereqs before I could apply to PT school. And in that time, I grew exponentially in my faith. I completed military schools, somehow convinced the girl of my dreams that, hey, that's pretty cool too. I got accepted into one of the few PT programs that didn't idolize GPA and instead was more focused on the character and interpersonal skills of its applicants. I survived my first year of PT school drinking out of the fire hose, barely, while also going to drill weekends once a month, in addition to being activated for multiple hurricanes. But now guess what? Let me introduce you to a little friend called coronavirus. Have you heard of him? Oh, and also, you're getting deployed. So pack up your bags and get your things in order. You're headed to the Middle East. And that was a very hard year for me. I quarantined for 2 months. I was in charge of a mission that was far outside of my pay grade. I dealt with toxic leadership and soldiers under my command who wanted to be literally anywhere else. I jumped back into the program after a year of degradation of knowledge. And the people on my left and right had learned the same material 2 weeks ago. But perspective. Quarantine gave me precious time with my then fiance before leaving for 10 months. I wouldn't have had that time if we hadn't entered a nationwide lockdown. I developed my own leadership philosophy. I got to make deployment somewhat bearable for my soldiers. I met one of my best friends and future groomsmen. I fit in a wedding and a honeymoon before rejoining the program. I finally qualified for the GI Bill, and I didn't have to take out any more student loans. And I got to be classmates with all of you. And I don't know if you know, but you all are pretty awesome. In addition, I realized that my deployment allowed me to be the only person in the past 3 graduating classes who was fully in person for all of PT school. Lord knows I would not have survived online classes. Kudos to you guys. After 12 years, for what takes most people 7, I can honestly say I wouldn't do anything differently. Because all of these events, even the ones I never would have chosen for myself, shaped me into the Christian, husband, friend, the PT, or will be in a couple hours, that I am today. As C.S. Lewis said that hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. We can choose to persevere in the present, to see every opportunity as an opportunity for growth, with a perspective that one day we will look back on today and we will see how all the small little pieces fit together into the big picture of the story of the person that you are. We can choose to persevere in the present. Yeah, you're awesome. Newsflash, you are incredible. Every last one of you. You're graduating with your doctorate, the pinnacle of education. You overcame COVID. You overcame the exams, the assignments. You overcame lost loved ones, broken relationships. Insert event here. You overcame it. This is all part of your story. You already know how to persevere. You've done it. But how are you going to look back at these memories and future events and let them impact you as a physical therapist? You're the only person on this planet that knows everything that you have been through. So only you can tell it. Only you can choose the perspective you view it in. Other people may look in and call you a failure. You may have patients that just flat out don't like you. You may forget to document something important. You may not have the golden exercise to improve a specific impairment. But that is not the main plot line, and that does not define yourself, or that does not define who you are. Don't define yourself with secondary and tertiary matters. And just to point out the obvious here, your patients each have a story of their own that you get to be a part of and you get to learn about, and just maybe you will get to positively impact and even change their perspective on their injury, on healthcare, on life, you name it. We get an abundance of time with our patients, which is so unique in healthcare, to help them persevere too. For me personally, my perspective doesn't stop there. Through my faith in Jesus Christ, through nothing that I have done out of my own strength or power, I'm able to look into the future with an eternal perspective, which shapes every aspect of my life and the interactions today. And I want to respect my classmates and faculty and families with differing worldviews, so I won't go into a big spiel. Just know that whatever you see in me that seems attractive, or that stands out, that earns me the #1 Good Vibe Setter Paper Plate Award, that thinks I might give a decent speech, the love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control that I strive for. I attribute everything to my relationship with Jesus. And if any of you, at any point, is slightly curious about that, or wants that hope for yourself, I would love to have that conversation. And if anyone resents me for bringing it up, well, I would love to have that conversation. These first years entering clinical practice are going to be tough. Your residencies are going to be tough. PT may not seem all that it's cracked up to be. Striving all this time for this singular goal may prove not to meet the expectations you had for it. But persevere. Change your perspective. See the opportunities to grow, and don't be defined solely by your career. Write your story. Be inspired and inspire others. And in the meantime, celebrate, because you did it. Take a deep breath and let it sink in. Give yourself time to soak in this incredible accomplishment, celebrate with your loved ones, and then go out there and show the world what UCF DPT is all about. Because I have no doubts that you will be amazing. Congratulations to the class of 2023. We made it.
So we're going to switch gears a little bit. I'm not really sure how we continue after that, but we're going to do our best. So at this point in the program, we take a minute to recognize some individuals, but I do just want to echo that this is an attempt to recognize some of the individuals, but we could go through and speak to you about the incredible strengths of each individual. So I have the privilege of recognizing the Outstanding Service Award. And for those of you that do not know, and I'm really happy that Jeremy spoke about it, we really do strive for things beyond academics here at UCF. So part of our culture is about service. So if I were to ask, and I will, just so you guys to get a little bit of a taste. Now remember, a whole year we were online. But for those of you that have volunteered at a Disney marathon, gotten up at like the ungodly hour of 2:30, raise your hand. Anybody who's done a Go Baby Go event can raise your hand. Anybody who's done a fall screening can raise your hand. Anybody who has done admission interviews, given a tour, can raise your hand. I mean, I could go on and on. We have students that really sacrificially give of their time and talents to serve our community, and that really is the culture of our program, but it also are the fingerprints of our program that the community sees on a daily basis. So each year, it's really difficult, as we said, and discuss these awards as to who we'll recognize. Breon took a group of 7th graders. If that does not deserve a badge of honor, 7th graders, across UCF for a tour, and the faculty of that middle school, every time I see them, want to know how he's doing, because he just rocked their world. Kate has done more Go Baby Goats builds and can wire a car faster than I can, and it is more certain to run than if I were to wire it by myself. We really could just go on and on. There's not an event that we ask them to come that they're not here, but we still have to recognize somebody for the award. And so this year took a little bit of a different turn. Normally we recognize that community service, but it is also important to recognize professional service, because really part of UPT is advocating for our profession. We need others to understand the role that we play and to advocate for the future of our profession. And we have a student that in the middle of all the chaos of the past 3 years has really led by example in their professional service. Can't go on social media without seeing what she's doing. I'm like, oh, there she is again. So it really means a tremendous amount to us to have that sort of student leadership in our professional association, and leaves us very, very excited to see what lies ahead. So I would like to award the Outstanding Service Award to Sophia Hack. At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Scott to present the next award.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here. Graduates, how we doing? Class of 2023, I'm so excited for you all. So I have the great privilege as a faculty member here in the Division of Physical Therapy to present the award for research. And just as a little bit of context for the parents and families that maybe aren't as aware of our program as others may be, but one of the things that we talk about a lot when we're showcasing our program is one of the things that makes it unique. There's a variety of different things, but one of the things that makes it unique is the rigor and the attention to detail that we have for research. If you look at the educational requirements for the Doctor of Physical Therapy in the area of research, admittedly, there's a lot of sort of vagueness in terms of what actually is required. And we go above and beyond. I think our students can attest to that. And I'm sure if they have friends and colleagues at other programs across the country or across the state, they would hear that they don't nearly do as much research as we do. So we really put a lot on them. In addition to all the other things, it's 20 credit hours a semester and a million other projects. And then on top of that, getting in groups and working on research. So we begin the process towards the end of year one where they get into groups, and they really kind of go through the entire process as a PhD student would, where they come up with a question, develop a hypothesis, and set out to answer a research question. And I can also share with you and share with the graduates that in our discussions together amongst faculty, you should all know that this is actually one of the things that we enjoy the most in terms of working with students. So we really go above and beyond. I'm super proud of their accomplishments, and they've helped to contribute to continuing to raise the level of rigor and expectations that we have. Just for some numbers and some statistics, you know, an academic publication is really a big deal regardless of you know, your type of schooling or program. Over the last 5 or so years, about a third of our graduates end up with a publication in an academic peer-reviewed journal, and about half are presenting at national conferences. So that's a tremendous accomplishment, and it's a testament to their hard work, and they're going to continue that trend. CSM abstracts are due July 17th. In discussing the awards for research, it's always very difficult, as Dr. Tucker alluded to. It's always very difficult because there's lots of very outstanding students and outstanding groups. So we decided this year, we don't do this always, but we decided this year that it was important to recognize both the group effort and also an individual effort. Because sometimes there are individuals within the cohort that stand out and they need to be recognized. So first and foremost, for the individual research award, this individual has gone above and beyond in the area of research, asking tough questions, keeping up with the literature, and has already presented at a national conference. So will Dr. Kalka please come to the stage? All right, and for the group award, I can attest to just how hard this group worked because I saw a lot of it working really hard in a very rigorous project. And I will admit that in terms of the discussion of deciding which group was deserving of this award, one of the things that we discussed, and they'll all tell you maybe that there are some research tidbits or stockisms that at certain points in the curriculum they learn. But one of the things that we try to impress on our students is when combing through the literature and when evaluating research studies, sometimes the results of a study aren't necessarily what you thought they would be. And I think there's a lot of parallels to research as there is in life, and that sometimes you're going to have an idea, you're going to set up a plan, you're going to come up with a hypothesis, and you're going to do everything you can to answer that question, and it doesn't always turn out. Sometimes it's a very difficult thing as an instructor to try to convince people that a research study is really important, despite the fact that results aren't exactly what they were or what you thought. So as a bit of a research nerd and someone that likes to impress upon the importance of rigor independent of findings, I'm super excited to give the award for the group effort to Dr. Collado, Dr. Perez, and Dr. Palmer. Congratulations. To introduce the award for clinical excellence.
Congratulations, class of 2023. So as the Director of Clinical Education, I have the honor of presenting the Clinical Excellence Award. So as Dr. Tucker and Dr. Stock said, really all of our students are deserving of this award. Some of the adjectives that have been used to describe you all by your clinical instructor are kind, humble, intelligent, brilliant. When do they graduate? Can I hire them? So honestly, this is one of the things I wish I could just give to everyone because of you and because of the amazing things you do when you get in the clinic, my job is very easy. But for the one student who is getting this award this year, after his first clinical experience, I ran into his clinical instructor. So before he was even a third-year student, I heard, I'm just waiting for him to graduate so I can hire him. On his second clinical experience, his CRI proactively reached out to me and said, I don't know if you have an award for a clinical excellence or some type of graduating award, but I want to go ahead and nominate this student. His demeanor, his personality, the way he cares for patients and constantly goes above and beyond, I can't think of anyone else I would rather work with. So that made this very easy to distinguish because proactively these clinicians are coming to me telling me how wonderful he is. So this year's Clinical Excellence Award goes to Chase Kelly. Presenting our Outstanding Clinical Instructor Award. So to help with this, I would like for Breon and Lexi to join me. So each year, or each cohort completes 4 different clinical education experiences. So they have an opportunity to work with a lot of different clinicians out in the community. But they have the opportunity to nominate any of their clinical instructors from any of their clinicals for this Outstanding CI Award. So this year, Lexi and Breon nominated their CI and actually printed out some things that they had submitted when they nominated her, so I wouldn't forget them or say them inappropriately. But when you hear this, I think you'll understand why she is deserving of this award. She is an excellent listener, provides frequent and appropriate feedback, and is always respectful and intentional with her words and actions. While working with Myrna, she incorporated learning in a way that was challenging yet very enjoyable. Myrna as a person is selfless, thoughtful, and compassionate. She embodies the personality of an ideal PT. I strongly recommend Myrna for CI of the Year. Also, after now finishing all of my clinicals, I can officially say that Myrna is hands down one of the best CIs out there. She pushed me outside of my comfort zone to help me learn, but was always there to educate me if I was flustered or confused. I feel like Myrna's guidance and mentorship helped me a lot with my imposter syndrome and finally solidified that I am in the right career field. The compassion and empathy that she shows her patients reflects directly on how she treats her students. I am so fortunate to have her as a mentor and have learned so much from her in my internship. Once I am practicing, I hope I can be half as good as a therapist as she is. This year's Outstanding CI is Myrna Santiago. Myrna, we would like you to join us on stage. And now I would like to invite Dr. Handy back.
We have 2 more awards to go. This next one is for academic achievement. We've already mentioned how challenging this curriculum is. It requires late night studies and just ongoing perseverance to get through the curriculum. there are so many bright students in our cohort, and so many did well academically, and it was very difficult to pick one. But there was one student that did excel and really was able to perform in a way that was just exceptional in a very challenging environment. So I'd like to call up Gabe Corrado. Our last award for this morning is what we call the Tenets of Excellence. And as you come to learn that we have high expectations for academic performance, high expectations for clinical practice, as well as service. And so when we think of this award, Tenets of Excellence, it's really intended for that individual who encapsulates the entire culture of what UCF Physical Therapy is. And again, there are many folks in the cohort who could have been considered for this award, but there was one person who just stood out, and I would like to invite Andrew Perez. And now for the time we've all been waiting for, letting other graduates.
All right, the main event. You guys ready? Great. All right, we'll start with Lauren Adams. Chloe Artrin. Maria Baruque. Jennifer Briggs. Kayla Brockway. Mariah Bush. Breon Clark. Nicholas Coletti. Gabriel Collado. Alejandra Corvalán Nunez. Natalia Davis. Casey Deming. Fahim Dalla. Jeremy Fleischman. Johanna Freeman. Goldshawn Ginto. Joshua Guzman. Sophia Hack. Margaret Falca. Chase Kelly. Brian Kelly. Megan Kuchida. Austin Omebed. Allison Palmer. Andrew Perez. Nate Rotenberger. Jean St. Louis. Santiago Salazar Ruiz. Amardeep Singh. Christina Speranza. Lexi Steichletter. Justin Trin. Daniel Veray. Caitlin Wilkerson. Congratulations, class of 2023. Now we're going to invite you to take part in the reading of the physical therapy professional oath led by Dr. Dawson and Dr. Beato.
Congratulations, everyone. We would like for all the physical therapists in the room to stand up and read the oath with us. And fix your wounds.
In the presence of my colleagues, well, come on, come with us, okay? Profession I am entering into, I solemnly swear and willingly state that I dedicate myself to the following. I will practice physical therapy with compassion for the vulnerabilities of each of my patients and will work to preserve their dignity and promote their health and welfare. I will value the lives of my patients as I value my own life, through my concern for their significance and with respect for them, and the confidential nature of our relationship. I will be humble. I will recognize my limitations and continue to consult with my colleagues and coworkers for knowledge with which I can better treat my patients and for inspiration to expand and augment my education. I will share my knowledge with my colleagues and patients freely with compassion and patience. I will work toward the improvement of quality of life for all of my patients. I will honor choices that my patients make with respect to their wishes and needs. I will do no harm to another human. I will work to improve the practice of physical therapy so that all who seek it will receive treatment which is proper, ethical, and just. I will not allow my judgment regarding the practice of my profession to be influenced by race, creed, religion, greed, or unethical behavior. I will expect the same behavior from my colleagues and my coworkers. Thus, with this oath, I freely accept the obligations and rewards which will accompany my practice of physical therapy.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the new doctors of physical therapy. would like to invite Dr. Tucker back up on the stage.
All right, so this concludes the formal part of our ceremony. Clearly, we need a group photo. What you don't know is one of the skills that they've obtained is they can put themselves in a group in like 5 seconds flat, and you will see everybody's face. So we will do a group shot of the new doctors of physical therapy. There are refreshments in the back for families, and then we'll be gathering at the arena this afternoon. You all will join us in a back room for graduates, like the doctoral candidates and families. You all will be directed to where your seating is, but you'll have just a great opportunity. They'll be on the big screen, and we'll get to celebrate them again where they'll receive their diploma. So again, we thank you so very much for being here with us today. We thank you all for saying yes 3 years ago, because you have made us exceptionally proud, and we can't wait to see what lies ahead. So this concludes our hooding ceremony this morning, and we will see you this afternoon at graduation. Congratulations.